Hi everybody, it's Courtney with thebeautymarkgirls.com, and today I'm going to do a tutorial about an airbrush makeup kit that's super exciting. It's called Temptu, and it comes with a airbrush foundation, an airbrush blush, and an airbrush highlighter. So I'm going to just show you guys how I do it to create a really flawless look. You want to start with the user guide, which is going to tell you how to put everything into put the AirPod into the holder and plug everything in and get everything started. But we have it all done so far. So what you want to do is you want to hold it like you'd hold a pencil, like this. I'm going to turn it on. So here's the air hose, and then I have the little thing turned on over here. The biggest thing you want to remember is you want to hold it downwards, and you want to push the little lever, and you can push it all the way down to get more coverage, or back it up just a little bit to not do as much, and you want to go in circular motions. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with that. I don't know if you guys can see it coming on, but I can feel it. Once again, you want to just make sure that you're doing circular motions and going downwards. And then I like to take it after I've done just like a basic layer all over my face and go back through with just a blending brush and make sure that there's no harsh lines and that everything's really blended. Be about that type of stuff. So I'm gonna just go through, make sure everything's blended out really well. And now what you want to do is you want to go back over the areas where you need a little bit more coverage. Like I need coverage under my eyes, obviously, so I'm going to go back over it. Holding it like a pencil, holding it downward, going in circular motions. And I like to look up so I can not get it in my eyes. And hold it a little bit closer to my face. And just like we talked about when we were contouring and highlighting, I like to do it a little bit thicker under the eyes. And I'm going to just go through with one of my flat Beauty Blender brushes, and just press it right up into the eye area. Making sure that you get it really good under there. So I have darker under eye circles. Once I've done that, I'm going to go back through with a powder, and I like to just set everything so that it doesn't look really shiny and it stays really well throughout the day. So I'm going to use MAC blot powder. I use it in medium. It doesn't deposit any color or coverage, it's just going to set everything, and I'm still using that 188 brush. So I'm just going to go a little bit underneath my eyes and just really make sure to set that foundation. And if you don't like to use powder, then this is a step that you don't necessarily have to do, but I like to set everything just to make sure that it's not going to move throughout the day. Okay, so now that I have my foundation on, before I do the blush, I'm going to go through with my bronzer. And I like to use MAC, it's called Give Me Sun, and then the 187 brush. And we've talked about how I do this before, but here's kind of a quick thing again. Put a little bit of color on the tips, go right underneath the cheekbone, onto the temple, a little bit underneath the jawline, so almost like in a 3. See how it contours just a little bit? I just want it to give me a little bit more color. I'm really fair right now, so I like it to have a little bit more of a glow than usual. And I'm just really blending it out. You don't want any harsh lines. It's going right on top of that foundation that we just did. Okay, So now I'm going to change out the AirPod. You just push the little button. And I'm going to put in the blush. And the blush looks like this. It's kind of like a pinky color. It's really great for every day. So a couple things to remember when you're going to put these AirPods in is to remember to keep this little needle thing up and to unplug the little plug. It'll go in a lot easier that way. And like I said in the post, what I love most about it is that there's no cleanup. I can go from my foundation right to my blush, right to my highlighter, and there's no cleanup. So I don't have to clean out the hose or wash anything out. It's just step to step. So I'm going to turn this back on, hold it a little bit further away, and I'm going to focus right on the apples of my cheeks, and then I'm going to blend upwards. See how it just does a little bit of color? You want to be pretty light-handed with the blush because it's going to deposit more color than you think. And then I like to go back through with that buffer brush again. And just make sure the color looks even. It doesn't look blotchy anywhere or anything like that. Until you kind of get the hang of using the airbrush thing, feel free to use brushes to kind of blend out or just make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable because you're more used to using a brush than an airbrush, most likely. So until you're more comfortable, feel free to keep your normal tools on hand. So that's it for the blush. It's super easy. Now I'm going to take that out, put the lid on, and now I'm going to use the highlight. And the highlight is like a shimmery kind of champagne color. This is one of my favorite parts of this. I love this stuff. Take out the plug right here. And this is all in the manual so you can remember. And then just put it right in. Sometimes I get it mixed up here. Okay. Put it in, and then you're going to go where you want any highlight to be. Mostly I like my highlight right above my cheekbone under my eye. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Once again, holding it up, holding it at an angle. I like to close my eyes when I do it. And if you can kind of see how it gives just a little bit of shimmer. Just a little tiny bit of shimmer right on top of the cheekbones. Really, really simple. I'm going to go back through with that brush just to make sure nothing's wet. So now I'm going to go back and finish up my eye makeup, put on some lipstick, and I'll post a final picture.